Hello my friends, welcome to my first Agatha Christie mystery solving attempt for a while. I mean, it's been a while. I did a number of these 2 years ago. I think I did like one a month here on my channel. Really enjoyed spending time with Agatha Christie trying to solve her mysteries. Have taken some time off and I'm back at it now with And Then There Were None. So throughout this video there will be spoilers to this book. You've been warned. I'm going to be reading it and sharing my thoughts and trying to solve the mystery. This one was originally published as 10 Little Indians. We've got a deserted island, well, except these people that are invited, and they are getting knocked off one by one. This book, this solving attempt, is different from my previous ones because I've actually read this book before, but it's been so long ago. I don't remember anything. So we'll see if I remember kind of whodunit partway through. We'll be looking for the clues. Maybe I'll be able to read it slower and pick up on some things better. I have no idea. I always say that, like, I love being able to solve it, trying to figure it out. It makes me feel smart. At the same time, my reading experience is kind of better when it's like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I kind of like the mystery and the surprise of it. So either way, it's a great reading experience. I don't remember how this book starts, so let's try the first sentence together. Oh yeah, first of all, there is a poem. 10 little soldier boys went out to dine. One choked on his little self, and then there were 9. Oh, is this how they actually die? 9 little soldier boys sat up very late. One overslept himself, and then there were 8. This seems to be, this poem is actually how each of the characters dies. I'm just gonna doggy ear that right off the beginning. And let's see how the first sentence or the first paragraph is. In the corner of a first-class smoking carriage, Mr. Justice Wargrave, lately retired from the bench, puffed at a cigar and ran an interested eye through the political news in the Times. That is both the first sentence and the first paragraph. Not very interesting. Her first sentences are not the greatest, but I'll dive in. Let's go through this together. See if we can solve it. See if you can solve it. See if I can solve it. Let's figure this out. Okay, I have read the first 2 chapters of this. I think I've been introduced to all 10 people. I have been keeping track on Notion, I didn't count them, of the different people. I'm using the pictures that I found from a 1945 film about the book, but I think that they changed some things because not all the characters have pictures. But we're being introduced to everybody very quick. Short little scenes with everyone. A bunch of people are suspicious. A bunch of people are suspicious of other people. They don't know why they're there. No one knows the host or hostess, which aren't even on the island. I think they've all arrived on the island now. It's hard to keep track of everyone and where everyone's at. I think that is one of the things that is brilliant about this book is there's so many little details because there's so many characters. It's hard to keep track even when you're trying to keep track, like actually write things down. Never mind if you're just trying to keep it all in your head or you're reading it for a fun read, which is also excellent. But as someone that's trying to keep track of things, it's all very difficult. I see that the whole book is kind of just red herring after red herring. Not that I remember anything, having read it before. It all feels completely new. I remember nothing. But you can just see that everyone is suspicious and everyone has something that they're hiding, it seems. Even the people that are like, we just barely were with, what's her name? Emily Brent. She's reading her Bible and, you know, she's all high and mighty, but I have a feeling that she's probably hiding things as well. The problem is just going to be keeping track of so many characters. That's definitely going to be my biggest issue, but finally know them all now, and I don't know how soon it is before they start getting picked off but considering how much has to happen in the next 200 pages, it will probably be pretty soon. Is it one a day? I don't know how this works. We will see. I'm going to keep reading. Okay, as they say, the hammer drops pretty quickly. Beginning of chapter 3, there's a voice coming out of nowhere, and everybody on the island, Soldier Island, gets accused of being responsible for the death of somebody in some form. We start to learn a tiny bit about some characters. One that was lying about who he was. We get some of the information on how they all got there, you know, which we've kind of already learned a bit about. And everyone, or at least some of the names, I don't know if it was in all of the letters, it's unknown. So whatever the name is, a bunch of the letters together make up the word unknown, which is brilliant. I don't remember anything, you guys. This is just a new book to me. Only thing I remember is that people get picked off. So now we've got all this information. I'm assuming people are kind of denying it. No one's admitting to it, at least. And the plot thickens. It thickens. So I'm going to keep devouring the book, but I needed to comment on this. Everyone had something to do with someone's death in this span of, like, let's say 10 years about. So who cares enough to look up suspicious deaths to exact revenge? I don't know. But I'm very curious to keep reading. I'm going to have a little snack. Jared made peanut butter cookies the other day. And what I've been doing is, I'm not generally a huge peanut butter cookie fan, but I'm using these chocolates that we get from Costco and eating it on top of the cookie. And I think this is how they're made to be eaten. Just like that. I definitely recommend giving this a try. Except it's a bit warm outside, so the chocolate is melting. But I'm going to eat this and keep reading. So we were just having a chill time talking about how everyone didn't kill any of these people that they were accused of killing, even if they did actually kill them, whether intentional or not. And then they're deciding they're going to go back to the mainland tomorrow with Fred when he comes over for the bread and the milk and the post and takes the orders. So they're, well, most of them think that would be the best idea, I think. And then we've got Anthony, who takes a drink and chokes, gasps for breath, slid down off his chair, the glass falling from his hand. His face contorted, turned purple. So I'm assuming he dies here. He choked or was poisoned or something. And if I go back to the story, one choked his little self and then there were 9. So we have our first person eliminated, assuming he's actually dead, which makes sense. So I don't even know if I realized on my first read through that this is the way that they die, but I thought it this time. So what we got next? One oversleeps himself. Okay, so one's not gonna wake up in the morning. Okay. Yeah, definitely invested for sure. Gotta see what happens here. Okay, this book is moving quickly. We had our second death. The very first morning, Mrs. Rogers doesn't wake up, and her husband says she didn't have anything to help her sleep. She didn't sleep very well. She didn't have nothing last night, sir, except what you gave her. Speaking to Armstrong, the doctor, we know was drunk and botched a surgery and killed someone. So either somehow she took something that her husband didn't know about, or possibly the doctor intentionally killed her if he is our guilty person, or somebody put something in the doctor's medicine bag for her, like predicting this was going to happen. I feel like we've got 2 down already. I feel like I need to make a prediction on like who's the killer, because we're down to 8 people already. So Armstrong is an option. Emily Brent is an option. William Bloor is an option. He's the one that knew some of these people because apparently he got a letter requesting that he, as a private investigator, look into people. We've got Vera, Philip Lombard, General MacArthur, and then Mr. Rogers and Wargrave. I think he's a judge, right? Judge Wargrave. I don't know. Everybody was accused individually other than Mr. and Mrs. Rogers, and now we're out Mrs. Rogers. I don't know how you figure this out at this point. We've gotten the perspectives of a lot of people. Don't know if we had gotten the perspectives of Mr. and Mrs. Rogers. We've got other people thinking to themselves, but I don't remember if it was all of them. I think Mrs. Emily Brent would be a possibility because she seems like the least likely suspect. William Bloor is a possibility because he has information on the people that are in the house. We've got like a general and a judge, so they would have access to this information. Like, where did the bad guy or bad woman find out about all of these deaths? Not even all of which were considered suspicious. So then like a judge kind of makes sense, but the kid that drowned, I don't think there was there an inquest though? I think maybe there was. I don't remember. The judge makes sense. Or potentially staff, so the Rogers, because they often talk a lot, right? If you go from post to post, although they were with their lady, it sounded like for a long time. So I feel very confused, or like I can't even peg it at this point. So we've had one choked his little self and then there were 9, one overslept himself and then there were 8. One said he'd stay there and then there were 7. Okay, I don't know where this person is staying, but was it Philip? He originally didn't want to leave the island, so is he the next one? I don't know how quickly this is going to happen. It sounds like there might be a storm brewing, so that's going to make things interesting. I don't want to read too far into what the deaths are, so we will see what happens next. I have 0 predictions at this point. I decided to write down my top suspects, and as I was doing so, I realized that's half the people left. So hopefully I can narrow this down. I mean, some of them will get knocked off, but that's a pretty sad list. Can I just say that I do feel a little sorry for Rogers. His wife has died. She was supposed to be making the food. He's supposed to be the butler. And now he has to keep making the meals because this is in a time where only certain people do such things. And even though he lost his wife, whether or not he's the guilty one, I don't know yet. Shouldn't people be helping him make the food? Please don't hire me as a private detective anytime soon. People are getting picked off. Oh, we're down another one now. General MacArthur was found dead. He was sitting at the beach. Apparently someone knocked him on the head from behind. He was not one of the people on my suspect list. Where did that go? So now my suspect list is 4 out of 7 people. Emily Brent, the only reason she's on my list is because she kind of seems like the least likely, so I picked her for that reason. I mean, there's a good chance it's somebody not on my list. I didn't put Philip on here because he kind of seems too obvious. He left people to die, he brought a gun, doesn't really seem to care. So it's not that I have like an actual reason to not suspect him, other than he seems too obvious. And that's like the opposite reason as Emily Brent. William Bloor, the detective guy, I only put him down because he knows things. Judge Wargrave could know things about people. based on his job. And Mr. Rogers, I still feel like staff are always talking. And I feel like he's possibly the only one we haven't got the perspective from yet. So he's still high up there, and he went into the room when Vera noticed that one of the guys were gone and there was only 7. So I was like, did he take it? Did Vera take it? I'm not really suspicious of her. Not really any reason why. The one thing I remember from my first read through is that the guilty party is one of the 10. So for a while there, these guys were looking for someone else on the island. Page 122 of my book, they finally realized Mr. Owen is one of them. I was like, oh, okay, so that's one thing I knew already. But other than that, I don't know anything. I know we're gonna keep getting picked off. So that was number 7. One said he'd stay there, and then there were 7. I didn't actually notice him say he was going to stay there. Next one is one chopped himself in halves, and then there were 6. So we're going to get gruesome. They don't seem to have noticed that it's following the nursery rhyme yet. Maybe on the first one a little bit, but it hasn't really been brought up again. So from my list, I'm the most suspicious of Judge Wargrave and Mr. Rogers at this point, for the reasons I said. But I'm going to keep reading, see a couple more people picked off, see if there's any other clues that I can catch. Okay guys, we need to talk about this. I think I'm going to finish this today. It's, how many pages? I have about 60 pages left. And people are dropping like flies. Anthony's gone. Mrs. Rogers is gone. General MacArthur's gone. Mr. Rogers is gone. Emily is gone. Wargrave is gone. We are down to, how many people was that? That was 6. We're down to 4 people left. Okay, we've got Dr. Armstrong left. We've got Bloor left, the detective. We've got Vera left, and we've got Lombard left. And while some of these people even were on my original list, right? What was my original? I had Bloor on my list. Oh, and everyone else is dead. I don't really think it's Bloor anymore. I don't think it's Lombard. I don't think it's any of the people that are left. So I had this idea. What if one of the original people faked their death? But I don't know, like, and then is moving throughout the island unexpectedly. I don't think they're checking on the dead bodies much, but I don't know how possible that is. General MacArthur was hit on the back of the head. Rogers was axed in the head, but Emily's bee sting, this is where I started to get suspicious, because weren't the rest of them together? And Wargrave shot with a revolver. Like, I don't think it's one of the people that are left. It's just not adding up. There's not time for this to be people to be in 2 places at once. So the suspicious people from previously would be like Anthony. He choked on the drink, but they said his face turned purple, and there is a doctor there. He's checking the pulse. Like, did Anthony take something that slowed his heart rate down enough that they didn't notice it? The only other suspicious person would be like Mrs. Rogers, because she just didn't wake up, but she would have had to have fooled her husband and the doctor. Like, I just don't know at this point. Is it one of the people that are left? If I had to pick one of the people that were left, who would I pick? Maybe Armstrong? He's a doctor, so he's got that. I don't know. I just don't feel overly suspicious about any of these ones. Yeah, all this to say, I'm confused. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to keep reading and see what happens here. This is a wild ride, this book, that's for sure. The one thing I'm noticing is they are aware of the rhyme, the poem, but they're, other than the bee, they're not really thinking about how this might be affecting them. So right now we are here. A red herring swallowed one, and then there were 3. So we've got 2 guys searching for Dr. Anthony right now, and I'm assuming these footsteps and this shadow were the red herring. So I was like, they could be doing this a little smarter. And just like that, we're down to 3, even though we don't know where Armstrong's body is. This book moves fast. Unless, because they can't find Armstrong's body, is he the killer? He's pretending he's gone, but he's actually still on the island somewhere? I really don't know. Okay, apparently I'm thinking like Vera here. So that probably means that I'm off base. Okay, we're escalating and down to 2. I do not know what the next line in the poem is. One got frizzled up and then there was 1. No idea. Okay, well, he's definitely dead. I'm going back to like my original, well, not original, but my thought that somebody that was supposed to have died near the beginning wasn't actually dead. Okay, now Vera has killed Lombard. Shot him through the heart. And she's technically the only one left, but I still think there's someone else out there. Okay, so I just read Vera kicking away the chair, and she has hanged herself. And there was that hook in her room, and that's where it is. And now I see that the next page is the epilogue. So was she the person all along? But then also, what's been the motive here? I still think maybe there's someone else on the island. I'm gonna read the epilogue right now and we'll see. With it being Vera, I feel like that's a little bit of a, it's a little underwhelming. So we'll see. Okay, now we've got Scotland Yard on the scene and everyone's dead. I'm reading them talk about it. I still wouldn't understand, like, okay, if it was Vera because she's the last one alive, or did somebody just set them up so they slowly killed each other off? Like, someone had to have money to buy the island, to arrange all this, to arrange the gramophone. Doesn't really make sense. I'm confused. Okay, so Vera's chair wasn't found kicked over. It was, like all the other chairs, neatly pulled against the wall. So after her death, someone moved it. There's more going on. And that's the end. Now there's a manuscript document sent to Scotland Yard by the master of the Emma Jane fishing trawler. So this is a confession by someone. I have a definite sadistic delight in seeing or causing death. So who is it? The whole time I was like, how did, if it was someone that was supposed to have died, how did they get away with it? Wargrave got Armstrong in on the idea. Did Armstrong never suspect Wargrave? This guy was on my original list, Wargrave. It makes sense. I thought that he would be the one that would know of these potential murders. He was on my original list, but I didn't really think, plus his murder was more brutal, so I didn't think that his would be faked. So Armstrong took the red herring. Okay. Confession signed Lawrence Wargrave, and it totally makes sense. I feel like I had elements of the story, but not all of it, which is great. This is my second read through and I didn't even remember what happened. Mind blown yet again. That's an impressive story for sure. Have you guys read this? Did you solve it? Have you read it more than once and been tricked? I would love to hear it. This is definitely a brilliant book because it just feels pretty solid. Other than, I thought Wargrave would have come across the like murders, the actual murders, but they had never been tried for murder through court. But a lot of these weren't even very suspicious, so they wouldn't have come up in court. But he's the kind of person that would have connections and know things. So yes, mind blown. I have a bunch more videos trying to solve her books, some of which I have solved, some of which I haven't. It's super fun either way, whether or not I solve them. And I'm just gonna keep reading Agatha Christie. I'm not quite done her books, and when I am, I can reread them and still be just as surprised as the first time, which is great. So thanks for joining me as I tried to solve this.